Hi. Welcome to the Agile Testing Days After Work. The first time we are here online. So what do we want to do here? So we want to explain you how we choose all the papers for the program and all the things. And for that, I cannot do that alone because, as you know, I'm not working on that. I'm only the person in the front. So I have a team, and there are people who are doing that. And I want to invite now my team into that. So welcome, Uwe, and welcome, Steffi. Oh, welcome.
Hello.
Hey.
Good
Nice.
afternoon, good morning,
Hello.
good evening, whatever.
Yeah. So one thing that you can do if you want to ask questions, so you can ask questions. So it's your chance to do that. Okay. So if you want to do that, so you can post your comments there. We will get it here, and we will try to answer all of your questions. But I don't know if okay. So let's see that. So yeah, let's start. So tell me, so when we decide to set up the new conference for, let's say, 2026, so what happened?
So what happens first, you mean, probably? So
Yeah, what happened first? So we need to think about the topics, and
Yeah.
and then we said, okay, we want to talk about, I don't know.
yeah, so yeah, only from the program perspective wise,
Of course.
it starts usually with a grid or an empty timetable of the potential program with time slots and some sort of a direction, like we need 50 talks, 12 tutorials, 17 workshops, whatever the timetable or the hotel or the venue is possible to host.
Okay. So
But before we set the grid, we actually evaluate what happened the year before and see what went well and what didn't, and then we see what we want to keep and maybe what else we want to introduce as a new format, maybe.
True.
Exactly. So and sometimes also from time to time it happens that we change the structure a little bit because sometimes we get so good papers that we decide, okay, we need more, maybe one more talk or one more keynote or something else, because we want to have this paper even if we don't have a place for that. So we said, okay, we want to make place for that, or because we know that you are investing a lot of time to prepare the things and to get as much as possible into that. That's why the Agile Testing Days is always so big. So
correct. It's an agile process. So if a paper is so great and it does not fit the actual grid, we make it happen or we make it fit. So yeah, correct.
Okay, that's good. So I have seen now that our colleague Christian, Rahul, and Lisi are already on the background waiting to come in. So so the people send the papers, and for that we need the people who really go into that and look into the papers and give an opinion. For that we have friends and colleagues who do that, and I want I will put all of them inside if it is possible. Christian, Rahul, Lisi, I will invite you to go in. So I hope Christian is there already. Lisi, Rahul. Hey, Rahul. Lisi, Christian.
Hi, everyone.
Hi,
everyone.
So,
Hello.
hi. I think Lisi and Christian, they were part of the program chair.
No, just Christian is here.
Yeah, this year, but Lisi in the past.
Yes. Yeah.
And Rahul as well.
Rahul, okay. Even you, Rahul.
Yeah. only once. After that, I was never invited.
No.
We try always to get the best one. So, how many papers do we get in?
About 500.
About 500.
Yeah. something around that. Since a couple of years, it's always around 500.
Yeah. And when are the papers coming in, the most of them?
Most of them coming in the last 24 hours. So it's I think it was 120 or 180 the day before the deadline, and then in the last 24 hours it's minute wise or second by second coming papers. So so the which lowers also sometimes the opportunity for some papers to do some updates. If you are a very early submitter and a reviewer already give you a feedback, and we notice, okay, the session has lots of potential, but the wording is not great or the video was not perfect. Sometimes there's maybe another month time to make an update. In the last 24 hours, it's just not possible. So it's not always
possible for the total amount.
Yeah.
So, Lisi, how was your experience when you was part of this program committee?
It was actually a very interesting experience. I also had it just once, but it was super curious to see like how the papers got more and more, like the more time passed, because a lot of people still gathered feedback from like before submitting, right? So, which is also actually something I would recommend. Like, there's so many people in the community who are so happy to give feedback and share their experience, how to write proposals that have a better chance just from how it's written. Of course, there's so many other aspects that go into the final decision, but that can actually really increase your chances. And then towards the end, like suddenly everything came in, and you could really compare more between the set of proposals that you had for review and also adjust again so that everybody also gets their fair feedback.
How was for you, Christian?
No, you're muted or not. We cannot hear you.
Christian, say something. Rahul, maybe you can start. We can give Christian the time to.
Okay. So am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So my experience is that it's usually very difficult to make sense of anybody's presentation just based on abstract, right? So because writing is one thing and presenting is one thing. And eventually, so I like the idea that, we are asking for short video submissions. So because Tariq and me this time, we were looking at AI specific talks, that how we can bring that to the AI track, deep dive track. And the video certainly helps. Yeah. And apart from that, I think it's the ChatGPT impact that the buzzwords are increasing. The text looks good. Actually, all the text looks always good now, but it becomes heavy to process, and it makes it even difficult to distinguish a good paper from not yet their paper. So that's what my experience is. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Christian.
Yeah, I mean, from a grammar and spelling and English language perspective, I agree to Rahul. There is no bad papers if it's outputted by GPT, but it's very often if you don't have something to tell and tell GPT what to put into the abstract, then it's just high level and fluffy, and this is what you get from an abstract. Right after the first two or three sentences, there's nothing behind. It's just fluffy. There's no there's no meat. It's just fluff. There's no content, and we get that. And we get that. And the other thing is, I think it's fine to use such tools. It's fine to use tools. We use tools to spell check, to grammar check, whatsoever. But at least do some effort. At least do a little bit of effort of polishing it, of making it your own. It's okay to use it to punch ideas, to get ideas, to discuss ideas, to generate ideas and then choose what to put in the abstract and what not, but don't just do a one sentence prompt and just copy paste, because we see that. And also, there's things you just notice when an abstract starts with certainly, or I had an abstract starting in a foreign language, not English, not German, but some South American language, which I then translated with Google Translate, and it was certainly, here's your abstract translated into English. Come on.
Christian, you mean in this kind of papers, the soul is missing, like in a robot. A robot has no soul. So
that's the one thing, but also the content is missing. If you don't have to tell anything and you don't tell GPT what it should put into the abstract, it will just make up some fluff, some buzzwords thingy, and you get that from the very first moment.
So just to make it into the program, what the paper needs to make it into the program. I mean, soul, okay, content. What else?
Also a connection to the conference itself. It's also Christian is expert in smelling the ChatGPT written papers, and you also see on the other hand that many people just submit anything that might have been submitted at any other conference. So the connection to agile testing or to testing sometimes is missing, or to our audience. So they do not really connect it. So it's kind of I get the point. It's an interesting talk or a workshop. It makes totally sense. But why? Why for this community? Why for this people? And if this is missing, then it can be a talk or a workshop for every kind of conference, but we are special.
It's a bit like applying for a job. Do your research and then frame your application or your abstract accordingly.
Yeah, you need to tailor it to make it fit for Agile Testing Days as well.
Yeah. So what needs to be in for me in an abstract? It needs to be coherent. There needs to be a red line. It shouldn't just be single pieces put together, but from the title, the main statement, the text in the abstract, the key learnings, it all needs to make sense and follow kind of a progression. If you go there and as a main statement just copy the title of the abstract or the very first sentence, come on, that's not the point behind the main statement. It should be like an elevator pitch, or if you have just one tweet or one message on Blue Sky to bring your message across. That's what should be in the main statement. But please don't just copy your title or the first sentence of the abstract.
But many people did a good job and also sent us extremely nice videos about their sessions and the idea of their session. And I think that was really, really helpful for us as well, even to put together the final program, but also for the program chairs. We've been monitoring what you all have been talking about and stuff and exchanging ideas and comments about it. So, and that's what we felt as well. The video is definitely helpful, and we really appreciate everybody who took the effort to take one, even though it may not be easy to stand in front of the camera knowing that people are watching. And so it didn't have to be perfect. We just needed to get an idea, and thanks for doing that.
But maybe getting back to the video, I think last year was the first time you made them mandatory, and got a lot of backfire for that. But it's also it's a great opportunity for the speakers, because we had that in quite some cases that the paper were like average, and then in the video we saw this has potential. The topic has potential. The person can speak, can get their message across, and very often Uwe got then back to them and said, hey, there's potential, could you please improve that? So the video also has benefits for you as a submitter.
I think it's also something that helps you to make a differentiation what is written by ChatGPT, okay, and where the people are telling you. I mean, at some point maybe we are going to have or need to be more careful if the video is really generated by Jenny I, but Rahul, you never know. Rahul is very key. So
I want to talk point here, extending to what we're talking about. So, given everything we said, there were some papers for which we have fought. Like they were so good that I remember at least two such instances where we wanted them to be a part of GenAI track, and they were already selected for another one, and the subject remained AI. So while all of this is happening, on the other side, we see this great quality happening at the same time from the same community.
Yeah.
So what is it that they are doing right, which is missing elsewhere? And I think that's the learning we all can take from it.
But it's also a little should be a little secret or your own kind of work you achieve to reach this level. Because if everyone sends in super perfect papers, in the end, then we need 15 days of a conference to add all the.
Yeah, and it's already hard to fit all the very good papers into the grid we have. So, like, we had to reject very good speakers, and we had to reject very nice papers and ideas because it just didn't fit in the overall program this year. It may have fit at another time, but it didn't for this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is always painful for us because we know that the papers are good, and maybe in another case they could be there too, and but it's no room for that in or for the concept that we have. It's not room there, and also sometimes we don't have really so much place there to run all of them. So that's why we are offering them other chances to be here in After Work and to run the talk, because there's a place to do that. And but it's always a pain, and sometimes we get, or especially myself, get emails from speakers really hard because they do not understand why the paper has not been chosen. That's and sometimes they need to calm down a little bit too, because they need to understand that there is also other people. We cannot have always all the people, and there are other topics and so on. It's always it's difficult, and we try to improve every year, but yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, we also want to give the stage to new people that we haven't seen yet also, and we always try to balance that with experienced speakers we do know and some that we don't know. So yeah, you can't do it right for everyone.
So then let's go through the process. So the process is that the colleagues have chosen the best papers, and then what happened next?
They do not choose the paper. They make the ratings. They give feedback. So we have numbers, and with these numbers we play around. They
prefer, but they said, okay, I think this paper should be in the program.
Yes. They also, the reviews also have
some give a recommendation.
They have a top 5 list, so they need to give us their top 5 sessions, something like must-have sessions, and then we have the scores, and with all this information, we try to fill the grid. What I mentioned in the beginning. So if we have 50 empty talks slots, we try to fill them with the recommended sessions by the reviewers and with the top rated sessions, and trying to make a good mix of the topics as well, and also trying to not do any doubled content or repeated content. There might be stories or topics that have been in the program for 15 years, and at some point you need to stop talking about this and go on. And so that's then the hard job to say
Okay.
I'd like to add that for each paper, we had at least 2 reviewers reading the paper this year. So not just one person read your paper, but at least 2 people. And if these 2 people weren't agreeing, then we had a third person looking at it. So
Correct.
just so you know that we try to get different people looking at different papers too. So it's a bit more fair.
Yeah.
And we try to be not involved there because we want to be kind of independent choose from the program chair. So this is a program committee. So this is also important, because if not, it will be very difficult for me, because when I am at the Agile Testing Days, I get approached every minute. I have an idea for a talk. I have an idea for a keynote, and if I accept all of them, we don't need a call for papers. So that's the thing. So sometimes I said, okay, the idea, I like the idea, so send a paper, let's see, or a keynote or whatever. And but normally, for example, for we are already working for or myself is working for the next conference. So I'm telling something that I never have told before. So I'm working. So sometimes, so and making ideas regarding keynotes and so on, so that when we are in November, we have most of them already. So that so 2 or 3, well, maybe 3, but the most of them are already set. So this is important to know. So if you approach me, don't be disappointed that I said to you that all the keynotes are gone. That's life. I'm sorry. And now you're approaching me now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will.
Also, for 2026, all slots are taken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Okay. So I will share now a small presentation so that we can go through that a little bit together. I don't know what's going to happen because the tool is quite new. We have too many people on the stage. I don't know what happened when I introduce now the this. Oh, okay, so that's very nice. So wait a second. I need to change the banner. That's so it's different. That's so nice. So wow. So you see now everything. I am the only one who has something in front of the face, but it's okay. I'm not so beautiful. So after all the work, so we released the program, and this year we have 10 keynotes, 30 tutorials, 48 talks, 12 workshops, and 33 hours of deep dive.
In addition to the above sessions.
Yeah, and this is amazing big. And I think if the hotel could be bigger, we will have more. But we have all the rooms in the hotel. I mean, we ran the hotel for the whole week. You can imagine. So keynotes, I think you have seen them, and I'm very happy that we have all of them. And especially, I'm happy that Angie Jones is back. I asked her to come, and she said immediately, yes, I want to come back. Melissa, we already spoke with her last year. Henrik Nieberg, we were chasing him for a very long time. And this year he said yes, so we are very, very happy about that. Martini, so what would I say? He decided to talk again, and we are very happy that he's there. Tariq, my dear friend Tariq, of course, is there, and Elizabeth together with James Lisi. This is going to be a very nice keynote. Let's see. Santosh on security, that's nice. Rahul, that's very interesting what he's talking about, because he will tell us maybe how he wrote his last book. Let's see. I don't know if let's see. And Pradeep, we it's his first time at the Agile Testing Days, and I think we are going to have a very, very good keynote with him. and Rachel for the first time also having a keynote with us, and yeah, it's a good chance for her to move forward.
Second time actually.
Well, but that was not a keynote.
No, it was a keynote at ATD USA.
True, but not Germany.
Not Germany.
But thank you, Uwe, my dear. So we have 30 tutorials. So I mean, you will learn here a lot, as much as you can, and will. So I think there's no topic left. This is the first time I think that we have so many tutorials. So let's see. So the topics you can look at the website, so that we can go into that. So the deep dive tracks. Uwe, what is the idea behind?
Good question. What is the idea behind it? No, we did it last year for the first time. The idea was to have picking out one of the hot topics. People always are keen to go there and try to go really deep, so that you can go there as a beginner and leave this whole track or this whole experience way smarter, and with all the, let's say, tools and strategies to start working working on this topic when you're back at the office. So I think that's more or less the idea. Sometimes we just have one talk and it's 25 minutes, so you cannot go really deep. But if you have a 3-day deep dive on one topic, in a mixture of talks and workshops, it's a way to really learn something about this topic, and maybe also get all your questions answered.
Yeah. And what's new this year is that what Uwe just mentioned, do it over all 3 conference days. So it's the whole day on each conference day is dedicated to each topic. And so we have 3 in parallel running. So you have to decide if you want to stick to one of the topics. You have to stay in that room for the 3 days. But then you're really, really smart after. But you can, of course, you can also go elsewhere and switch. But it depends what your interest is and what your main challenges and questions are.
Okay, so let's start. Let's start with test automation. Christian, if you, as the one who have been involved to create that, if I am an newbie on testing, or have some kind of experience already, or even professional on that. So what is the expectation for me to attend this deep dive?
So we tried to make it work for everybody. So we decided for 3 topics. So each day will have a certain topic. First day will be automation patterns. Second day will be targeted tests. And the third day will be data and state modeling. And we will start easy. Each day will have the same structure. We'll start easy with a talk where we explain the theory, the fundamentals, what is this for, how to use it, what is the tools we will explain. Followed by just a 45 minutes workshop, where we will have a look at a code base and think about what we just heard in the talk. Or you just joined the workshop because you already know the things in theory. Maybe you've read a book, but you've never applied that in practice. And develop the steps you need to take in order to apply the learnings. And then in the afternoon, there will be a 2-hour workshop where we really get our hands dirty and implement the stuff we talked about in the morning sessions, really in code. Applying automation patterns to a messy code base and things like that. So in the morning, it will be like really easy. You will get all the theory. And if you're an expert and just want to know how to code or bring your coding skills concerning automation to the next level, you just join us in the afternoon. So that's the idea we had. And we tried to tailor the sessions accordingly. Let's see how well that works out.
So the people will need a notebook, I guess.
Yeah, or you need someone to pair, at least for the afternoon session. In the morning session, you don't need to code. We will have a look at the code via projector. I think that will be fine. In the afternoon, yes, you need a notebook or someone pair with someone who has a notebook. In the morning sessions, I don't think so.
Okay. And are you using a specific tool? Are you using a specific language?
We will use TypeScript as a language because there we already have ideas for a code base, or have some code base that we can reuse. I think Richard has something that we can reuse. But the things we will apply, the patterns, the ideas, the structures, the do's, the don'ts, are language agnostic. So it doesn't mean if in your day job you're using Python, Java, whatsoever, the principles are language agnostic. Doesn't matter. And if you're not a TypeScript expert, we will get you up and running. No worries.
Okay, that's good. So thanks so much. And not only to Christian, but also to Richard and Gil that they have created that. Yeah. And the second one goes on security. And Lisi was quite involved there with Christoph and Santosh. And tell us, Lisi.
So on this deep dive track, we welcome everybody who are curious about security testing, or in general, all things security, because it's such a crucial aspect in, everything that we do, the products that we build, even private life. So what was important for us when curating this track was to cover to provide both coverage basically on a variety of aspects, as well as representation. So regarding the coverage, we try to cover or provide you like a mix of topics that are all relevant for the usual everyday life in different roles, but all related to software development, of course, and of course to testing as well. So ranging from like, how can we even know about what kinds of threats are out there that we want to prevent basically to happen, that we want to protect against, how to find those weaknesses in our own implementations, or even maybe in our ideas, like early on, how to secure what we're building. But also on the other hand, as I mentioned, the representation part, so that we showcase, okay, there's a variety of people who are currently working in a variety of different roles that are related to security. So we will have red teamers who are actually trying to, of course, for the good cause, to find weaknesses in an existing product, as well as ethical hackers. But we also will have security engineers and consultants share their perspective and their experience as well on stage in the sessions, so that you hopefully get a good glimpse into all kinds of things that is out there, pathways you could also choose to go for your own career, or in general skills to grow. So it's not a matter like everybody has to switch to a security focused role, but we believe strongly that this hopefully benefits everybody who is curious to add this to their toolbox, let's say. So we try to provide this good mixture also every day. So we will also have a mix of talks and workshops. The workshops will be definitely very hands-on. So also here, yes, laptop will be required, but we'll make sure that it'll fit the people who are coming. As Christian mentioned, we could also see if people are up for pairing or working in an ensemble. So that shouldn't hold you back. But in general, if you're interested in all things security, or just have questions, because we will be around as well the whole time, not only in the formal sessions, you're definitely very welcome to join us. And I'm already really curious to learn with everybody together and exchange all the stories. So that's going to be the deep dive on security testing.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much. So the last one is on GenAI, and with a well-known couple, Rahul and Tariq. So Tariq.
So the GenAI deep dive track. By the way, Tariq would be happy to listen to the couple joke. So I would tell him personally. So about the deep dive track on the Gen AI. So Tariq and I talked about it, and we decided to go for a highly collaborative approach because this is a complex subject. There are so many ideas in the heads of so many people. So although we are primarily responsible, but we would not be the only speakers, right? So it's a 3-day template. On the first day, we go with general intro on Gen AI, and then there's a workshop on prompt engineering. That's how it softly starts on day one. So it's mostly me and Tariq taking care of day one. On day two, 5 to 6 more speakers would join us, and the day is dedicated to agents and MCPs and whatever latest buzzwords people keep hearing. And so the day is planned. So the in the first half we give an intro, and the second day is workshops. So there were many interesting ideas submitted by many people. AI for unit testing, AI for extracting test cases from traffic. So we wanted to get all these interesting ideas into a certain window. So rather than people presenting the idea as they submitted, so it would be aligned with the overall vision of the track. So it's a bit of experiment we are doing this time, that yes, there's a promise with the paper, but it should be not stand alone, right? So it should fit into the overall thing which an attendee carries with him or her after the conference is over. And it gets more and more involved from audience perspective as the days forward. So the day 3 is completely about audience participation. So the first half of the day is open panel, so people can ask questions. So there is no panel discussion. It's just people asking their questions. And then we have something called Gen AI Olympics. So we would be designing games in which audience can participate. So that's the overall 3-day format. And don't ask me for details because we have to read it and ask them. It's truly collaborative in its spirit that we have laid down the skeleton. We have to fill the colors yet, and we are not the only ones who are going to fill the colors. So over the coming months, we are going to collaborate with everyone to come up with a decent event.
Yeah. Okay, thanks so much. Wow. So yeah,
to all of you, because we couldn't do this without all of you.
We were discussing that this is amazing how much work is needed to set up a thing like that. It's really thanks so much, really much appreciated from our side. So now a very personal question: how do you like the program this year? Lisi.
Well, to be honest,
you can say honestly, I don't like it.
Yeah, the thing is, no, I honestly, well, on the first hand, I just didn't have capacity to really read through, but I always do every year before I go. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have the big difficulty this year because, well, we have our own track, right? So I'm probably going to miss out on a lot of the sessions. So I'm going to use the opportunity also being there to use the hallway track and catch those people outside of their sessions to get a glimpse on their knowledge.
But you have also the chance to get the things online, right? You can see the
as well. Exactly. Yeah. So that's a good opportunity to also not miss out on everything, right?
But not the deep dive tracks. We're not recording those. And we're not streaming them either. So if you don't want to miss out, come on site to Potsdam.
Yes, but I also know from experience, like from all the last years, it's going to be amazing. So I don't even have to go through the program yet. Just seeing all the speakers, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think so. I am involved, and I don't know how do you say this in English, but I am part of the gang. So
biased.
Yeah, biased. Yeah, and but I think this program is by far the best one that we had at the Agile Testing Days, in my opinion. But like I said, so Christian.
I was amazed to see the mixture of speakers. So the regulars are kind of the best of the best. what is there in the scene, not only at ATD, but it's the regulars that you also see at the other great testing conferences. So it's really the creme de la creme. And also a lot of new people, some of whose abstracts I reviewed, and they were really, really good. What made me a bit sad, I mean, there's so many abstracts, so many submissions, but only so little slots. I missed a lot of my favorites, a lot of these abstracts where I thought, oh, those are really good. I want to see them on stage, and then I see the program and they are not there. That's a bit disappointing as a reviewer, but that's the game.
But we have this concept of AgileTD After Work, and we want to invite them, or we have already invited them.
Cool.
To run with me here in the talk, because we are the same opinion of you. So they are so good, and I mean, the thing is, we cannot make it bigger. We cannot make the Agile.
Absolutely, and a lot of my favorite abstracts are now in the program, so that's cool. But because they can't be. Not all of them can be there.
Because you know, if we make the Agile Testing Days for 2 weeks, for example, they will sue us because we kidnap the people. So we don't want to kidnap anyone. So that's the point. So
fair enough.
No. So Rahul, my dear, you are also biased. You belong to the gang.
So you already know that for me, the AgileTD goes much beyond the published program. So I like ATD for its spirit and its soul, right? I like off-stage conversations and lengthier conversation, longer, more involved conversations with people. And that template is continued, and the community spirit is always on. So for me, that matters a lot. And with respect to the overall change, I think last year is when we introduced deep dive tracks. So the normal complaint which we hear is, right, I just heard, I didn't learn, what to do in practice. So that problem is solved. And this year we are improving on that. So I'm very excited to learn from Lisi and Christian what is happening in other deep dive tracks. So I'm looking really forward to that. So yeah, so honestly, the program itself doesn't matter to me. The program is already set. It's a crazy festival where I meet always a lot of good people. So
yeah, we have a question here from LinkedIn, from someone saying having most of the hotel for the conference is part of what makes the atmosphere so special. What is for you? I mean, I can tell a lot, but I mean, you are the one who are there all the time, and we are working, so we know it. But I don't want to make so much advertise for that. So go ahead, Lisi.
Yep.
Tell me, what is special?
I'm clearly biased because this was my first conference ever, and I've been returning every year. So take it with a grain of salt. But for me, it's very special because exactly that. So the community spirit and the atmosphere and the very welcoming, inclusive style of like event as such, not only as like a typical conference or something, but like as a whole thing the whole week. This is for me very, very special, which was quite overwhelming at the beginning for me because I'm very introverted. So for all of those here who plan to join for the first time, it's going to be fine, but brace yourself. So reach out to people, for example, in the Slack. There's a lot of people who can help you also navigate this and like prepare yourself, and then you really get the most out of it because one of the great parts actually of this conference is that you have this great venue. If you have a room there, it's perfect because anytime you have you need a break, you can actually shortly take your time, separate yourself, maybe go back to your hotel room, just take a break. And yes, the fear of missing out is tough, but still recover, rest, and then get the energy again, basically, to people and really enjoy it. That is definitely what really helped me through the years, like all the great people who are not only understanding that not everybody's the same, right? Like we're all having different needs, and that those needs also get respected, even though it's like this big, colorful event and so many things happening, which can be overwhelming. It's really something that you can, like, that deeply touched my heart in that sense over the years, and I always take a lot with me also throughout the year. Not only the topics, but also the people and the connections and like the whole network and the spirit, and like to share that further in the world, basically. So yeah, but well, I'm biased.
Yeah. I mean, for ourselves is interesting, and we understand that people at the end cry because they need to leave, and this is we also do that. Okay, so this is because it's very, very intensive. Yeah. So Rahul, yeah, sorry.
ATDs is a little bit like the adult version of a summer camp. So if you as a high school or a teenie went to a summer camp, this is the adult version. So you are with like-minded people during the day. We keep you busy with exercises, workshops, or fill your brain with new kind of things, and around those slots and filling your brain with new information, it's a lot of time for making new friends, having fun, dancing, good food, everything that your heart as a tester or as a human being makes it shine. So yeah, that's
better in a summer camp where you're getting potentially forced into because it's school or something. So here you can actually choose the people, which is making it
yeah,
true.
Rahul, Media, you wanted to say something.
I just wanted to, relate an actual episode from last year's conference. So usually the conference is over, dinner is over, right? After 10, 11 p.m., people, retire, go back to their rooms, or if they're staying elsewhere, they go back to their hotels. And after that, you see certain groups which still stick. The conversations continue, and at 2 a.m., so I was there. And the receptionist asked us to just leave. It's not allowed anymore. And then a strange thing happened. So some of the people arranged for a party in the parking area. So there's DJ, there's dance, and then it goes on till 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And next morning, again at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., they're ready for the conference. So that's the, it can't be described in words, right? So you have to be there to feel it. And I say it many times that ATD as a conference cannot be planned. You can't plan that I want to do this kind of conference, which community would come engage in this way. It has just happened. It has just happened, and we are fortunate that we have a conference like this. Yeah, I love to be a part of it.
Christian, what about you?
I really love that everybody's so approachable, even like the big names. I remember when I came the first time, I just 1 or 2 years before, I had read Agile Testing by the first book of Lisa and Janet, and then I met them, and then I was in contact with Lisa. I don't remember via Twitter or email or something. And the second or third time I was there, I had a lunch walk with the Lisa Crispin to discuss my testing issues I had in my team back in the time, and everybody is a participant. It's not like there's big names and keynote speakers and whatsoever. And in this hallway conversations, at the party, at the bar, at whatever, everybody is the same. I mean, even Elisa is sitting in a workshop of mine and learning something new, although she's teaching on a different topic. Everybody's there to learn and also to teach. So that's really, really special here, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, it goes on even if the activities are over. I remember going upstairs to the hotel room together with someone I just met that year. I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock. And then we had to depart because our rooms were at different floors. We just sat down at the couches there because we were chatting so much, and we were still sitting there at 6 or 7 when the runners walked down. This is crazy. I think I wasn't ready for the first keynote the next day, but
Okay.
worth
Maybe
it.
you can say what Tamara thought about the Agile Testing Days before she was there the first time.
Oh yeah. My current partner, my girlfriend Tamara Justen, we met in 2018 or became a couple in 2018, and then the first 2 years I went to Potsdam. Every time I went back, she was like, "What is this? You're coming back so high and full of pink clouds in your head. Is this some kind of brainwash? Is this Scientology?" And no, by accident, she job changed, got into testing, and I think this autumn she will join the 4th time already for ATD, and she's part of the gang now, and totally understands why this conference is so special and why everybody wants to get back to this grown-up version of a summer camp.
Yeah, our lovely Claire Norman has a question, and she asked, what are the extra special ingredients so that a proposal can get accepted? What do you think? What should be the small thing that we put?
I think some things were mentioned, and something like we said, there's a little bit of a secret needs to be kept. But now it's the personal note, the soul, the that makes this session kind of personal and interesting and relatable, and also the connection, or the what I mentioned, it needs to be connected to our conference. If you do just an agile talk about agile and there's no connection to testing or to the current world situation or whatever, then it's kind of just a talk. So it needs to be put into some connection with
value. Maybe it's some value for the conference. At the point, I think it's a mixture of things. It's not, there is not with it needs to have some kind of salt and pepper and different things. Of course,
but
it's not.
But even if it has all this, and we also had very good papers that they're highly rated, but we thought the audience that will actually go to that session and may just be too small. So it may have been a super niche topic that was interesting, but just too small for the audience to be there. We do evaluate how many people go to each session each year, and then we look at the numbers, how many people went to which topic or to which speaker, and just to see how the whole community is, what they're interested in. And we see that with these niche topics, it's just people don't go there. And if you have a talk and you have 4 people sitting in there, it's just not nice for the audience. It's not nice for the speakers. And so we decided we just have to, topics like that we cannot include, or shouldn't, or sometimes we do, but we try to reduce them as much as possible. That's also a reason why we reduced the number of workshops this year, because we saw that over the last year, the people who attended the workshops, the numbers declined, and we do want to have people in the workshops. So that's why there are less workshops this year too.
And I think sometimes you also just need a little bit of luck. I remember in 22, Uwe told me, I submitted a workshop, and Uwe told me at the conference we had a submission on the very same topic, also a workshop from a very well-known big person in the community who's doing a lot of talks and workshops also on that topic. And Uwe told me your paper was just a little bit better. So this other person is an expert on the topic, and they submitted a really good paper, and they just had bad luck. So that also sometimes happens.
Yeah.
So it's very often, it's not about you not having written a bad paper.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of other factors that also get into that.
Yeah, that's true. But one thing that I want to say is there is a lot of people in the community that could help you to review your paper and also to find a topic with you. And we already mentioned Lisa. Lisa is, may need to build a monument for her. She is really doing a lot of work, and even because she's really the spirit of the community, and she's from day one there, and she doesn't I don't know how do you say this in English, but she has no fears of talking to people, and for example, if it is your first time, and Lisa will tell you, okay, then talk with me. So we both send the paper, and we pair with you to give the first talk, and she will be there with you, and even if she never met you before, so she will do that to help you. And if she sees, of course, that is worth to, and the topic is fine, and there are like there are similar people in the community. Talk to them. They are they want, like we want also to bring people. So there's something special also at the Agile Testing Days, that when we see people that we see that they are really improving and they are good, and they need some kind of mentorings to match, but they need a push. So they need to get pushed, okay, to move forward. And Lisi is one of them. Okay, so Lisi was not only Agile Testing Day was not only the first time where she was at the conference, she was also there the first time she ran a keynote, and so on. So and the same with Alex Slavedek, and also with other people. So we try to see the young people and help them, and this is also very important. And that's why what you said, Christian, before, that someone with a very good name and very good reputation sent a paper like yours, and yours was selected. Yeah, that's it. It is like it is. This is like that because we want also. This is also part of the game with us. And yeah. So one thing that was someone, Christoph, said we should have the ATD winter and ATD summer edition. So I think Christoph forgot that we have the open air. Yes, open air. So I cannot tell something that yeah, but you never know.
Bring it back,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, there's a song like that. Back. Now, yeah. I think so. I think that at some point we are coming back with open air, of course. But first, we need to. There are other things that we need to do, because we have seen that the concept is very special. There's nothing like that, but till there is a long way again. So we need to change things, because if you have seen the Agile Testing Days, it's similar every year, but it's not the same. So we're moving, and the same will happen with open air. So we need to change things and make it yeah, maybe a little bit different, but it's a long time there. So our time is almost gone. Do you have any question? Do you want to say anything else, Lisi?
I just love to see people in November in person, and also to reiterate what you before me said, like people are actually really approachable. So just feel free to come over, talk to me, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna learn together at this amazing conference.
Yeah, absolutely. Steffi?
Well, the early bird is on. So if you want to save some money, you can get your tickets now. You can also get the online pass if you like, if you want to do some selling here. But also, I'd like to thank everybody again for our deep dive cruise. Not every one of each of the teams are here, but we really appreciate the work you put into that. And we know it takes time, because you do it in your spare time. And you put so much thought into that, and we really appreciate that and want to say thank you. And also thanks again for everybody who submitted a paper. Even if you were not chosen, we looked at each of them, and we're really amazed by the energy you all put in and the amount of work. And yeah, it's really special and means a lot to us. And we hope you try again.
Christian.
Yeah, maybe one word on the abstracts. I think that again, that people haven't been chosen caused a lot of frustration. Keep on trying. Just keep on trying. It took me 7 or 8 years from sending in the first abstract to getting accepted, but you need to try and try again. And then the first year I got accepted was COVID, so it was no speakers dinner. Having to do the talk from at home was kind of disappointing. But try again. Try and get help. Get that thing reviewed. Go into the Slack channel and ask for help. Go to Blue Sky on LinkedIn. Ask people for help. Either people will happily review or point you to someone who will be able to help you out. Get that thing reviewed. Get some help to make it a really outstanding paper. That's my final words. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. Uwe.
Also, like Steffi said, thanks so much for all your help. And beside the conference itself, building the program is the second most fun thing during this whole life cycle of a conference. So yeah, and it's kind of a group. It's not a one-man show. It's a group kind of thing, and all your work was awesome and helpful. And yeah, like I said, without you, it's not possible to have such an amazing program and so many new faces as speakers. And yeah, so yep, that's my last words.
Rahul, my dear.
I'm just want to say I'm thankful, I'm grateful that I'm a part of ATD program this year too, so that I don't have to miss it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. So thanks so much for being there. So if you cannot come to Berlin, to Potsdam in person, a hint from my side, there is also the online ticket. So maybe a hint for you. And thanks so much to all of you for being there and for the amazing work you have done to get this program done. And thanks so much for the audience to be there. And see you soon, maybe next week again. Let's see.
Ciao.
Bye-bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.